On this episode.
How do you get rid of someone that does not want it to be over?
Were the two of you together last night?
Yes, that's in the hotel. We're in another state, but back home, it's not working.
I know I look really, really young, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
You
but
look great.
believe it or not, I was not born yesterday. Derrick, if you could say something to Johndalynn, what would you say to her?
I love you.
And Johndalynn, he's crying.
Yeah, and I really care and I love you.
I'm not here to tell you that you should or shouldn't be together. It's rare to have a man that loves you like that. Do you see his face?
Yeah, I see it.
I'm Ed Mylett. I'm an entrepreneur, best-selling author, and a life coach with one goal, to change people's lives. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. All right, grab a seat. Wow, great energy today, you guys. Thank you. Johndalynn says she's here because the father of her two youngest children won't let go of their relationship. She's asking for my help for both of them today to move on from their romantic relationship and try to successfully co-parent their two small children. Take a look.
Hey, Ed, this is Johndalynn Howard from Clearwater, Florida. I'm reaching out to you for some little advice. How do you get rid of someone that does not want it to be over? You know, I done told him over and over that let's just co-parent. He's a great father, lover, not so much. I'm just ready to move forward. Any advice?
Well, welcome, Johndalynn. Good to have you here.
Welcome.
So, why are the two of you not together anymore?
Because I just don't feel like that he support my needs. He's to himself. He's just like to be to himself. The infidelity, it's just a lot. It's not working.
Okay, and the infidelity part, are you sure about that? You think
I'm
that?
positive. This is not nothing that I just assumed. This is something I've seen facts.
Okay, so you have two children with him,
Yes,
right?
we have 2 kids together.
And then do you have other children?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about what you do to provide for your kids.
Well, I am a medical assistant. I do that. I work at a rehab, and I also picked up, since the pandemic, I picked up a job at Dunkin' Donuts just to add a little extra money.
Wow. So you work 2 jobs for these children.
I do.
You're a really strong woman.
Just from my upbringing, I learned how to build like a wall of armor to protect myself always. I've been a young mother since the age of 15, and with me having girls, I just always been very strong.
Yeah. So let me ask you a little bit about him. Because I'm watching what you're saying, but then I'm reading you a little bit too. I think you're having a little fun with keeping this dude away from you. That's just my feeling. Be real with me when I ask you this. Do you like, just a little, even though you say you don't, but I'm gonna be real. Do you like a little bit? Look at you, you already know what I'm gonna ask you, and I think we both know the answer. Do you like a little bit that he's sort of chasing you? Just a little bit. Do you like that? You say you don't, but do you like it a little bit?
If the chase was fun. It's not really fun with him.
Okay.
I like more of a fun chase.
And what's that mean? What would the fun chase look like? What would he have to do to make it look fun?
You know, do things. He got to say, you know, hey, Jay, let's go do this. Let's go do that. You know, no.
You want to go do stuff?
I do.
Yeah.
We don't do nothing, ever. It's just like, you know, we got kids together, and I feel like we should be together. That's it. No.
Do you ever still spend the night together?
No.
You don't?
No.
Were the two of you together last night?
Yes, that's in the hotel. We're in another state we don't know nothing about, and, you know, he was just there.
Just
but
there.
back home, I have my house, he has his house.
Okay. So I have this incredibly bright, incredibly strong woman sitting in front of me, right? This is obvious. Is that not obvious when you look at Johndalynn? You can feel her strength. And you're telling me you don't want anything to do with a dude romantically, but because you were out of town, you shared a hotel room together last night.
We did.
So just help me understand that. So the out of town is the ticket. So as long as you're out of town, you'll spend the night with him? Or
No.
How's that going to work?
Let me rephrase that. We was out of town together. Next time I take a trip, it'll be me.
So do you feel like that's like the 100% best strategy to send a message to a dude that you want nothing romantically to do with him? Or come spend the night with me?
I mean, that's all it was. You know, he went on his side, I went on my side, and...
You know, I know I look really, really young, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
You
but
look great.
believe it or not, I was not born yesterday.
Yeah.
So I know I look young. So let me ask you an interesting question. What do you really like about him or love about him, though? Forget the negative things. Okay, he's not romantic enough. He's not. You obviously saw something in him in the beginning, and my sense is maybe you still see a little something in him right now. So what do you love about him? What's great about Derrick?
He's a great father.
Great, like 10 out of 10 type dad.
Out of all my kids' father, and I have 5 of them, he's one of the best.
Are all of them involved in their kids' lives or not involved in their kids' lives?
One is,
Okay.
and one's deceased, and the others I just don't have no contact with.
Okay.
Yep, he's a good father. I just feel like my son from him, my oldest son, he shows just a little bit more attention to than my daughter.
Okay.
And that's kind of a problem for me as well.
Okay. How long have you guys been together?
Almost 3 years.
3 years. Okay. Because I'm just kidding. I don't know. I want to just ask you this. Do you think there's been is there something about you, your being, your strength, this wall of armor that's caused you to not have any of these men in your life at some given time? Or do you just feel like maybe, hey, I just have really high standards. If they don't meet them, then that's it?
I don't have high standards. That's the thing. I'm very down to earth. I'm very open. It's just like they would do something that there's no turning back to. I'm not going to keep forgiving that person that's cheating or lying because I grew up with it in my life. You know, I don't want to have to deal with that. Then have to explain to my kids. I really build my standards for my children. I'm not just me. You know, if I bring someone around, then it has to be good for me and my kids.
I respect that. Yeah. Do you feel like your kids need a strong male figure in their life?
They definitely do. I have boys, and, you know, it takes a man to raise one. So I do my best, but at the same time, a good man would help.
Yeah. I'm super impressed with you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Your strength, how hard you work, how much you love your children.
Thank you.
I think you want to be treated in a way that you're worthy of.
Exactly.
And, one thing, Johndalynn, is we teach people how to treat us.
Right.
In many ways, right? And that's one of the things a strong person understands is I'm going to teach you how to treat me.
Exactly.
And I feel like I just even watch you reply to that. Like that's one of the things I think that's really important to you.
Right.
Is teaching someone how to treat you because you do deserve the best.
Exactly.
And so do your children. But I'd like to meet Derrick, if you don't mind. Is that fair?
That's fair.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute. Derrick, if you could say something to Johndalynn, what would you say to her?
I love you.
And Johndalynn, he's crying.
Yeah. And I really care and I love you.
There's a lot of attractive men that I definitely look at.
Brother, you got a strong woman on your hands right here.
I do.
Derrick, what do you have to say about all this?
Well, I got a beautiful woman here beside me who I want to spend the rest of my life with. You know, I do have kids from her. Well, also, we have 9 together.
Okay.
You know, and when I first laid my eyes on her, I was like, she's beautiful. I gotta have her. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you. Yeah.
And that's where we met at the gas station. Going to work at that time. You know, she was going to work as well. Well, going to get the kids, take them to school. And that's why we first met. Then ever since then, we started hooking up, relationship, going places. Then it led from there. You know, we've been talking for a couple of years now.
I'm curious, why do you think she doesn't trust you?
Well, be honest.
Please, be honest.
Yes,
I like
be
that
honest.
part.
Please, yeah, please be honest. I like this.
I would think because she insecure at times. You know, she don't like me around a lot of women.
That's not true.
She's always saying I lay eyes on other people, but
That's true.
That just I like to keep my surroundings. You know, like I told her I always observe a lot of things when I go places.
Is there some validity to that, though? I mean, just being real.
Yes.
You someone walks in,
He gawks, yeah.
Well, I'm just a observer of my surroundings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate that. one of the things I found is you can still be a man.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And still be a man and still be in a loving relationship.
Exactly.
And I mean, Johndalynn, would it really bother if a beautiful woman walked in and isn't there a party like if you ask him if this woman's beautiful, he says no, and then he's lying, right? I mean, that's okay.
I don't have no problem with that because it's a lot of attractive men that I definitely look at, but I know, you know, I'm in a relationship. I respect
brother,
that.
you got a strong woman on your hands right here.
Yeah, I do. That's why I love her so much, because she
Yeah.
is strong.
Yeah.
She's a strong woman
Yeah.
and intelligent and really smart.
Yeah. What about this eyes for other thing deal? She says that you weren't faithful to her. Is there some truth to that?
As far as
Have you cheated on her?
Yeah, that's a good answer.
as
question.
conversation,
No.
well, no,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay.
Conversating.
Okay.
You know, if you call that cheating, like I said, when you're in a relationship, you conversating, you can't do nothing.
You wouldn't want her
with
checking your DMs or your text messages for a while. Is that what you're saying?
things.
that
Well, she
fair?
go through my phone. Honestly,
She goes through your phone?
Constantly. you
No,
know
it's
what
not
I'm saying?
constantly. Have.
When she
And
get a chance, she'll go through it. You know.
that's
and-
not true. We have no. I have. That is true, and I have found evidence that it wasn't just conversating. You don't. No, it's evidence. But I don't know how long has that been. That's been a while because, like I said,
A while since that
it's
happened.
been a very long time. I don't care what's on his phone now.
You don't care. Yeah.
Cause, well, now, you know, because
Even though it's still
you
things
can't
on
go
his
find
phone.
for stuff, then hurts it. You know, so when you go looking to find, and then that's when, you know.
I kind of don't go looking for it.
If you were looking for videos of me dunking a basketball, there aren't any because I've never done it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So
So
if
if
you don't
someone's
do
looking for
it-
something and it's there, they can find it.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Understand-
So
that's
the
understandable.
point is not the looking. The point is that there's something to find. I think you know that. I have to tell you, I'm saying this to you because I actually sense you're a really good man. I really do. There's a
Yes.
goodness about you. In fact, Derrick, my sense is that you're an even better man than you realize you are. And that maybe if you started to realize what a really good heart and a good, strong man you are, maybe even a little bit more you could live it. Because that is what I sense about you. And I think, Johndalynn, you have to at least acknowledge that about
I
him.
do,
It's
yeah.
pretty strong that a man will come on a show like this in front of the world and go, hey, I haven't been perfect.
Right.
You know, what would you say, Derrick, if you could say something to Johndalynn that would, you know, express your heart and your feelings about what you want right now? What would you say to her?
I love you, not just for the sake of the kids, just because my heart tells me everything about you, and a lot, you know.
Good, Johndalynn, he's crying.
Yeah, so that's
crying,
just
yeah.
showing you that.
Did you see his face?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, and I really care and I love you.
Okay.
You're a good man. Now, I don't know whether this is gonna, I don't know. This is like a fire thing to me. Because you're this really good man. You haven't been perfect.
Yeah, I'm not perfect.
No, you haven't been
but
perfect.
I try to make the best of it.
I could see that. This is a really strong woman,
Yes, she is.
you know, and I know what that's like. I have lots of strong females in my life, and this is someone who's got, I mean, she said earlier my standards aren't high, but I actually think, Johndalynn, I think you have super high standards for what you expect of people to treat you, and I think that's a really great thing. I hope you never drop them. But you know what's really rare in life? A man who loves you.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome back to Change. We're here with Johndalynn and Derrick. Let's just squash everything just for a second. I'll ask you a direct question. You'd like him to be involved with your daughter a little bit more, though, that you share together, correct?
Yes.
You feel like you could be? Is there an issue with that?
No, there's no issue. By me working a lot, I work 9 hours days, Monday through Friday, and
Wow.
yeah, I also have my son with me, and I squeeze time between them, you know, and get my daughter because that's my first daughter, and daughter need more attention than anything, and between them, and I still manage to spend time with her, you know.
Yeah.
Just my son, you know, and my other kid, you know, it's. I don't use that as an excuse by not getting her. It's a little difficult for me.
The difference between winning and losing in life, sports or life, it is so small. It's almost scary how small the difference between making this relationship work and not work. Well, John, I just want you to look at him right now. Look at his face. This man loves you. I'm
I do.
not here to tell you that you should or shouldn't be together just yet. Look at me. It's rare to have a man like that, that loves you like that. And it's really rare to get a woman that's this strong.
Yes, it is. Yes,
this
it
strong, this hardworking, this beautiful of a soul. I mean, you really have a blessing here. And the both of you have some children that you owe, at least in my mind, you owe at least really thinking about where this thing goes together. Do you guys agree with me on that at least?
Yes,
I
sir.
agree.
All right. Would you be willing to make a little bit of a change if I gave you a couple recommendations, gave you some tools, just some thoughts to consider? Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
Derrick,
Yes.
would you be willing to do that?
Sure, yes.
All right. Let's establish a couple of things. What has to happen in a great relationship? Number one, there has to be trust.
Number
Right.
one.
Okay. We don't have enough of that here yet.
Right.
We don't. I don't think you lack complete trust. Is it fair to say that you trust him with your children?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Yeah. I mean, right away you do. And I think you trust that he's probably, I don't want to speak for you. You speak. But do you agree with me, the sense that this is a good man?
Yeah, he is.
A good man.
I definitely agree.
I think that that's a foundation of a relationship. But let me give you a biggie. A biggie is somebody who loves you. That doesn't come around in life many times.
Right.
I mean, loves you to the point where they come on a national program and they have tears pouring down their face. Right? As a man.
Yeah.
That's not the image most of us want to put out there. Actually, it's what a really strong man does. He loves his woman.
Right.
The other thing he does, Derrick, is he's faithful to his woman.
Yes, sir.
Takes a weak man has to get attention from a bunch of different women all the time.
Yeah,
A strong
I
man
don't-
says, I need
I
it
don't
from
need
this
that
woman.
treatment.
Right? Yeah. And really that weakness is often celebrated publicly. The truth is we should be celebrating the strong men in our culture, in our country, in our world that stand up for their families. Would you be open at least to some forgiveness for any missteps that he's made if he over time earned back some of that trust? Would you be open to some of the forgiveness for him?
I'm open to it.
Okay. I'm so happy to hear that. Because what I'm feeling, like my energy when I'm talking with you, is I'm actually not talking with you, I'm talking for your children.
Right.
Listen to me. And someday, that little girl, by the way, that you have, if she doesn't get enough attention from you, she's going to start to seek it from other men.
Exactly.
And that's what I do not want.
Yeah, you do not want that, Derrick. You need to start to pour that love on her and
That's what I'm
hugs and
trying to say.
kisses and I love you and
All
you're beautiful.
the time.
And
all the
time. Children often measure the love quotient with just time. I know how busy you are. You got the kids and 9 hours of work. But you don't ever want her also to think, right, that somehow that you love one of your other children more than her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's just something that we can, as parents, I've done this. As parents, we can just have these blind spots. When my kids were little, you know, it was actually reversed. It was my daughter. My daughter was more like me, so it was just easier for me to talk and be around her. But as they got older, that changed. But I realized my son deserves my attention just as much. I don't want my son to ever think that somehow I favor or love my daughter more.
yes.
It's just something we have to be.
There's no favoritism.
Yeah, then that's just important that they know that. The thing is also, Derrick, she doesn't want you to just verbally chase her. She wants you to, I think, speak for you, what would you want? Would you want to go out more? Would you want to go to dinner? Like, what would you want?
Yeah, I would like that. We just literally don't do nothing. Nothing.
Could you start to do more?
Yes, I will. You know, like I say, working, you know what I'm saying? I do construction work.
Yeah.
So, you know, in that medical field. So it's
I
kind of...
I work too. I got 2 jobs. I got 5 other kids I take care of, a household. You know, I still have time for me.
Yeah.
So that's not an
understandable.
excuse.
That's understandable.
We'll have more with Johndalynn and Derrick when we come back. I could see a family here. What if you dated him? One of the keys to any great relationship is that you actually never stop dating. Derrick, do you want to ask her out?
You are the five. Get off my stage.
We're back talking with Johndalynn and Derrick. It's really interesting. I didn't know what I was going to think when y'all came out, but I just want to tell you, for what my opinion's worth, I could see a family here. Derrick, you would be willing to make some of those changes to?
I'm willing to do whatever to make her happy, and I'm willing to change.
Yeah. What if we met in the middle, Johndalynn? I got a suggestion. What if you dated him? In other words,
Go back from square one.
yeah. In other words, what's not square one? Let me tell you why you're not at square one. Square one is you date a guy, you have no idea whether he has any integrity.
Right.
That's square one. Square one, this man doesn't love you. Square one, you don't share children with him. You're way past square one with Derrick.
Right.
You're at square 201, right? Let's take inventory of what we have.
Right.
You have a man who loves you, and I'm gonna give you a secret. I think you love him. Would you be at least willing to say that you have love for Derrick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do
Okay.
have love
Look
for
at
him.
you. It's okay, by the way. You know that when you ask for help from people, asking for help is not a weakness.
Exactly.
It's a sign of strength.
Right.
You can get help. Letting someone close to you is not a sign of weakness. Derrick, you need to not hurt this woman anymore. You got to honor her.
Yes,
Everything
sir.
you do, every decision, every text, every room you walk in, you honor this woman.
Yes, sir.
And if you'll do that, I think the thing that we need to do is I think we need to date. And let me tell you what date means to me. He does need to take you out.
Yes.
And he's going to be tired. He's going to have worked all week. Would you do that?
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
I offer to take her places.
Okay.
Matter of fact, with the kids, not just sometimes
love that.
with the kids and sometimes with us,
Yep.
period, just me and her one-on-one.
Right.
It's always an excuse.
Okay. But wait, don't go back. Stay with me. Maybe you needed someone else to come in and ask her on your behalf. Because when she's hearing it from you, she might be hearing this noise of what happens before. But sometimes, you know what you have to do sometimes, Derrick? And this is a good thing, because you've earned this. Stay with me.
Yes,
You've earned this.
yes.
Sometimes in life, this is a great lesson for everybody, you have to get out of your environment. So a lot of times in life, change isn't just mental, it's environmental. Meaning it's really difficult to see things when you're in the same house, the same relationship, the same conversations. Just traveling here, just sitting here with me, you get a different perspective on your life and your relationship, don't you?
Exactly.
Right? Sometimes it's just if you're at home and you can't do that. It's like, let's just get away for a one-day
Exactly.
vacation, a one-day break. And so maybe their answer is different today because the environment's changed a little bit. And I think we're right where we need to be right now. I think if he's willing to say, hey, listen, let's go out, babe. Let's have a night out, you and I. Are you willing to go on that date with Derrick and start?
Yeah. I'm open to it.
Okay. I would love that to be the case. And Derrick, do you want to ask her out? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So it's interesting. This may seem basic, but one of the keys to any great relationship is that you actually never stop dating.
Right.
When a relationship starts to die is when it becomes monotonous, when it becomes
Right,
repetitive.
right.
When, you know, think about that first date when you first met one another, those feelings. Now, the feelings will change because you got diapers to change and
Yeah.
kids running around and you've seen her in her worst look and she's seen you at your worst look and
right.
she's seen you make mistakes. But if you stop dating in a relationship, I'm telling you, I'll tell you something really interesting. I met my wife when I was really, really young. When I would go pick my wife up for dates at her house, I'd go and knock on the front door, Derrick. This was hard for me because my family, there wasn't a lot of hugging. There wasn't a lot of I love yous. We had a good family, we didn't
Right.
do that stuff, right? That's not what and usually you kind of end up kind of doing what you saw, right? So I would knock on this door. I'd look in, and in the living room, this little tiny living room, my future father-in-law, my mother-in-law would be slow dancing in the living room. Literally with the lights off, just music, just slow dancing. TV was off. They didn't have a lot of money, right? But like, they dated. And when I started to do that, my father-in-law said to me, he goes, now that you're getting married, please never stop dating my daughter. And I just think that's something, this date metaphor is the new beginning for you guys, but it should never end. If this is gonna work, y'all are gonna date for the rest of your lives together. Does that sound like a good place to begin and to
Yes,
move
it does.
forward?
Yes.
Wow, look at you, Johndalynn. Look at you, Derrick. All right, well, I think that's where we move forward. You're allowed to give each other a hug and a kiss, and I feel like we're gonna move on here and start to, look at that, right? I'm really proud of you. All right, I love working with the audience as well and helping you guys. So we've got a great question from the audience. It says, hey, Ed, if you could go back to being your 24-year-old self, what is one thing you would do differently? There's a lot more than one thing I would do differently, but I'll give you two of them today. One is that I would have worked on my self-confidence sooner. I wish I would have known that self-confidence is an internal game, and it's really about keeping the promises that you make to yourself. And I had no self-confidence when I was 24 because I wasn't raised where people really gave me lots of praise and recognition. And so I was always looking for my confidence externally, not realizing, here's what it is. It's a relationship and reputation you have with yourself. And I didn't have a very good one. But once I started keeping small promises, it may seem silly, but like what time I'd get up in the morning, how much water I'd drink a day, how many contacts I'd make in business, how much time I'd spend doing cardio, whatever it was, small things led to big things. Making my bed. All of a sudden, when I kept those small promises, I had this reputation now that I keep promises. And then when I made bigger ones, it made a huge shift in my life because I believed I could do it. And then the second thing is I changed my standards. I wish I could go back at 24 and change my standard because then my promises became one more. In other words, not just keep the promises I made of making the 10 calls a day, but I'd make the 10 calls a day plus one more, right? I tell my daughter I love her every day because I promised myself I would, and I do it one more time. I do my cardio for 30 minutes and keep that promise, and I do one more minute, 31 minutes. And all of a sudden it changed my standard from self-confidence to superhuman confidence. I just took too long to do it. I wish I could go back to 24 and do it then.